of the public would support them. Or even people that have just got here, people that are incredibly new to the country that had to be deported because they literally showed up. But when you go around and you're deporting people that have lived here for 17 years, when you're deporting people randomly in a church parking lot, when you're putting children in zip tie handcuffs, when you are showing up at high school graduations, deporting people, it's barbaric. It's inhumane. And I don't think the public, first of all, you can't really live in a society like that. You can't. It's an incredibly chaotic and insane thing to just have ICE raids happening all the time at any minute. And now Trump's going, well, maybe we'll make an exception for the hotels and the agriculture businesses, because his friends called him and said, hey, what are you doing? Like, we own hotels. We need people to work. So it's just going to, it's a lot of chaos, and it's inhumane, and it's barbarism, and it makes the country look terrible to have a 6-year-old girl being handcuffed and put in a car. That's, that's not the look that you want the country to have. I think most people realize that. That doesn't mean that, lighting cop cars on fire and waving Mexican flags is the greatest look either. Here's Trump. Our great farmers and people in the hotel and leisure businesses have been stating that our very aggressive policy on immigration is taking very good long-time workers away from them, with those jobs being almost impossible to replace. In many cases, the criminals allowed into our country by the very stupid Biden open borders policy are applying for those jobs. This is not good. We must protect our farmers, but get the criminals out of the USA. Changes are coming. That might be the first realization that this is a insane policy that's, counterproductive. If you want to control the border, as you should, and this, this whole idea that borders aren't real and they're all imaginary is also untrue. People fight and die for borders. Go ask the Ukraine and Russia what they think about borders, or people in Israel or Gaza what they think about borders. You may not like that nations exist or that borders exist, and you may find them to be arbitrary, but I assure you wars have been fought, many of them currently, over borders. And you need to have a border, and you need to have a country, and you need to have a way to, figure out who's coming into the country and whether they're criminals or whether they're terrorists or whatever. Those are all real things that I think most sensible people, not the ones on social media, not my comedian friends who are mentally ill, but I mean human beings that have mortgages and homes and jobs, or even those who rent, or those who have any care at all about the society that they exist in or that their families and children exist in, realize that borders are not fake, and it's not a joke to have a border or have security or have a country. But those people don't want to see 6-year-old girls getting zip-tied and thrown into cars. Those people don't want to see people dragged out of their kids' high school graduation. So if the goal is to build a coalition of people that want and value border security, whatever you're doing right now, I think flies in the face of that. I think it is counterproductive. And, you're going into these places randomly, and people can't exist in this climate of fear and chaos. And it'll be incredibly disruptive to the economy as well. It's going to disrupt. You're not going to be able to fill these jobs overnight. And I'm a guy that believes that I'm with these people when they say the lie about jobs Americans won't do is a lie. Immigration in this country has benefited millionaires and billionaires primarily. It's certainly also benefited the people that have come over. to a certain degree, but many of them live in the shadows. They can't unionize. They can't demand proper wages. They're abused. And the reason that they are brought in is so that millionaires and billionaires can pay them less money. That's an economic fact. And this lie that jobs Americans won't do. And then you're like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, the farm jobs. You go, okay, maybe I'll give you that. And then they go, construction, retail, landscaping. These are all jobs that Americans did forever. These are jobs that they don't want to pay Americans to do. So that is a lie. And I think Americans are waking up to that lie because wait a minute, what are these jobs Americans could do? Only finance and tech? So Americans are only built to be on OnlyFans or they're built to be venture capitalists. That's it? Those are the only jobs Americans are supposed to do? So we're going to get rid of the manufacturing sector, retail, the service industry, all of those jobs Americans don't want to do. Americans can only masturbate on OnlyFans or be a venture capitalist with Mark Andreessen. Those are the only jobs available that Americans can do? Because if that is what people tell you, that say we should have an open border and we should just bring everybody in because Americans don't want to do any of these jobs, that's a lie. That doesn't mean that you throw a 6-year-old girl in zip ties in the car. That doesn't mean that you show up at a church parking lot and drag people out. That doesn't mean that you, Jesus Christ, embed Dr. Phil with ICE. I mean, Dr. Phil's with ICE. Caitlyn Jenner is in Tel Aviv right now at a bomb shelter drinking a glass of wine. Get this up if you can find this. I mean, the world isn't even real anymore in any recognizable way. What timeline are we on? What dimension? I don't know if you can get that tweet up, but she's just like, she's guzzling wine in an Israeli bomb shelter. Maybe it's just a still. There you go. Well, we wish her well, but that's Caitlyn Jenner in an Israeli bomb shelter in Tel Aviv. So these ICE raids, I think, are going to have the long-term effect of turning people away from valuing border security, because if they go, well, if border security is throwing a 6-year-old girl in handcuffs or chasing people out of a graduation, they go, I don't want to be a part of that. And it is a real question. Immigration's a real thing. Migration is a real thing. It's not racist to suggest that America might be full, truly. And that Black and Hispanic people that live here already should be getting these jobs. And white people, or whoever is living here already, and that bringing people in endlessly is going to cause a problem, especially when we have AI on its way. It's already here. And you have a tremendous wealth disparity in this country already. But the way that the policy is manifesting, where it's like just very indiscriminate and cruel, is going to set all of that back. I just don't think you can live in that situation. I don't think people can live in that situation. There's got to be some kind of process. You can't have masked people show up and then throw these people in Guantanamo. Or if you criticize Israel, you're just thrown off an American college campus.
Tim Dillon on Trump's ICE raids. There's one thing Tim talks about that I like that Bill Burr never talks about. The fact that the billionaires everyone hates now all of a sudden, and it apparently is the reason for all the problems in your life. You can't get laid because of billionaires, apparently, for some reason. That's why everyone hates them now. But it's them who want illegals. So I like the fact that Tim Dillon brought up that point, where you listen to someone like Bill Burr, Bill is just like, the billionaires, but we need open borders. But it's the billionaires. But the billionaires want open borders like Tim said. So Tim going off, though, reacting. He also, during his show, talked about the whole Israel and Iran thing. Hilarious rant. He had a great line in there about the right is stupid, the left is crazy, and all that stuff. But the pig going off on Trump and his ICE raids. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.